Okay, well, in the start in this race, even the first battle can be pretty detrimental to your run. You could lose this battle, even if it is a tutorial now. But see how it goes for these guys. So matching through text in this game, it's you kind of people sometimes use like A and B together. I like to use A and down on the D-pad. You can actually use the D-pad for going through text and everything. So whatever's comfortable. Yeah, $10. If you guys have any questions about the run or anything, let me know. I'll try to answer as best as I can. Everyone, oh, and they both cleanly beat behemoths. That's good. No behemoth deaths. So in the beginning, we were just picking up Kaylee, and then we were going on our way to get Cure, then back to the forest. Oh, so they both actually chose to cure up Benjamin. You don't have to do that, but it helps these next fights to have Benjamin attack. Like more than once. Sometimes he attacks once and then he just gets wrecked by the monsters, and if you don't cure after the behemoth. Maybe if he does die, I don't know. It's not. I don't think. It really depends on how you want to play the run. Like you can either, if he dies in these battles, you can always life Benjamin. But otherwise, you could just leave him dead. He'll, after the fight, he'll have 1 life left, and you don't actually need to heal him throughout the bone dungeon coming up soon. Because all the battles should be completed in 1 turn anyway. So these 2 battles here, they're always going to be a pack of 3. Later on, they vary. So in the bone dungeon, we're going to have to, or we want either a pack of 2 or a pack of 1, so you can finish the fights in a matter of 1 turn. Okay, you can use life on the Minotaur there. It's weak to life magic. It can miss, but most of the time it doesn't, so that's good. If it misses, you just try again. It's really not a big deal. I think it's a lot of... So we pick up Tristan here. He's gonna help us through the bone dungeon. We're gonna have him on auto throughout like the whole dungeon, but once the boss battle, we'll still have him on auto, except for I don't know if you need to cure himself. Sometimes Tristan life gets low at the boss, and then you'll have to use life on him because you really don't want Tristan to die, because he will revive Benjamin. Things go awry. So I know So PenguinNinja, I know I talked to him the other day, and he's actually working with a new controller at the moment. So he's breaking in. So if you see any kind of interest, different movements, he will. It's probably from just him still getting used to it. So Cyclone got a pack of 3 there. He wants to run away and go back in. And there's 1, so you just turn him, Tristan to auto and attack, and yeah, there goes the fight. Yeah, he can't. The problem here. Yeah, Tristan misses a lot. So if he does miss, you just have to attack twice with the bombs. It's not a big deal. You just waste a little bit of time. Because again, it really doesn't matter if Benjamin stays alive after these battles or not at this point. Because there's some ways to go about dealing with the Flame Rex, is that you can either waste, because you can use Cure on him actually, he's weak to the life magic, such as Cure, but not life. You can use life on him, or you can cure, like, let's say Benjamin before the fight. But I mean, honestly, I would just use life with Tristram on Benjamin to heal him up before the fight. It's up, player preference. So these seeds help restore MP in this game, and right now what Penguin's doing is he's doing a duplication glitch where you use the seed in battle with Benjamin's turn, and you go, it selects Tristram afterwards. What you do, you just press back and then run away, and it'll act as if you returned the seed into your inventory. For some reason, it wasn't a check that you actually did use it. So it's like, oh, I guess we'll just put one in your inventory since you went back. So this run takes about a little bit over 2 hours. Just around 2 hours. Cyclone can even choose not to cure here. Maybe he is. Oh, yeah, he is. He's using... Oh, yeah, and he's using a seed. Okay. So Cyclone will have to do more dupe seeds later. And Penguin also choosing to... Oh yeah, he duped 3 times, so he was okay to use a seed there. Everything's good. See how these Flame Rex battles go. Yeah, other than Tristan missing, the Cures can also miss, just by having the Penguin. Both his hits miss, which is really unfortunate. Basically, you just want to hope that Flame Rex does not use move called Ripped Earth, which is basically a quake. It deals damage to both you guys. It's pretty painful. Yeah, it's not possible. For some reason, life does not work on him, but cure does. It's weird how that works. I'm not too sure why. Oh, so yeah, I think Yeah, yeah, oh yeah, Penguin down on accident. Also just dealing with his controller. Yeah, usually when he gets lower life, Flame Rex will start using a lot like the Ripped Earth ability. And he chose to actually defend Benjamin, which is, yeah, that's a good idea. And now he's dead, so that's good. Wow. Oh, geez, Cyclone, wow. Double crit, got to go first. Pretty nice. But now we just have to backtrack. We're gonna pick up a shield on our way out to get, I think it's more, I forget what the stat is. But it helps out in the ice pyramid. Helps you go first. I think it's the agility or something. Because yeah, without it, the battles in Ice Pyramid are going to be really, really fickle. So it's good to grab it. Yeah, we're just gonna give the elixir to Kaylee and then go on from there. Go grab Phoebe and continue on with the ice or the Aquaria region. And we're gonna grab these potions here, cure potions, to set up for a glitch later on. It's like an underflow glitch in the inventory. So you want every slot to be full except for the first. You want the first one to have the seeds, and so you will expend your seeds and then do something later. You'll be able to skip a lot of the game, so... Basically like all the Fireberg area. Which is a shame, it's a cool place. But we want to go fast here. It's pretty cool, pretty close right now, and so that's always nice. No huge disparity starting off. Yeah, but those bombs are always good to grab because we'll be using a lot of bombs coming up. These next areas. It's definitely needed. Yeah, other than the damage and the AoE that they do, they don't miss. So it's always nice to use. Oh, this is a weird fight for Penguin. So with this fight, yeah, you have to meet the manual fire. It's kind of weird to deal with that frog sometimes. If the fights go right, you can actually keep Phoebe on auto, so she will cast like fire or thunder and things. So I forget. I didn't see it. I forget if if he didn't pick up Quake or not. But considering what he just did, it didn't seem like he got Quake because he used a different strat against those guys. Like normally you would use Quake and keep Phoebe on auto, so she'll cast fire on the hedgehog or the edgehog. Yeah. So yeah, she'll cast fire on the hedgehog, and then Quake the other two. Yeah, it's nice in this area to do auto because you don't have to do anything with Benjamin really. Just have him attack. Just go through the menus as fast as possible. That fun ends kind of shortly after these few fights here. Okay, yeah, so Penguin, yeah, he must have, because he went after the turtle encounter. Other runners would go for the worm, but, there's no really disparity between the two strats or anything, so not a big deal. Yeah, sometimes those, I forget, the horsemen? Yeah, they can, like centaur guys, they can riddle, and riddle confuses your guys, and sometimes they pick just Phoebe, sometimes they pick Benjamin and Phoebe. They can get pretty hairy. If that happens, you kind of have to, you can like run, like flapping a Cyclone right now actually. He might run, he might stick out, but you might die in this fight. Oh, it worked out. Phoebe casted fire, that's good. Yeah, luckily with these fights here, you can just keep using the same formation. So you just use bombs with Benjamin and then use thunder with Phoebe. This room goes pretty quick. Just a mashing room, really. Even the first turn on the Squidite, you do the same thing. Bombs and then thunder. But after that, you can keep using thunder if you want, if you have enough seeds. But I just like to use thunder once and then try to crit with Phoebe using her arrows, because that does more damage. But if the normal hits don't do as much damage as Thunder, so it's all about just trying to get lucky. Penguin's continuing to use Thunder. He has I think he duped, I think 3 seats so far. So, oh yeah, he switched it. There we go.
Hey, this is Silverfire. I'll be joining in for some added commentary.
Hey Silver, how's it going?
It's going all right. I'm at 21:20 right now on the racers. Is that accurate? Just don't want to be too far ahead of you.
I'm at 21:17. Then 21:26. One thing, yeah, with Squid Eye, it's an issue with one of the issues is getting blinded, but at least you can just cast heal. It's just a waste of a turn with Phoebe. But it's actually faster to have Benjamin die earlier on and just keep using arrows with Phoebe. So if Benjamin dies, just keep him dead for that fight. Just keep using arrows with Phoebe, but if he crits you, then you might have to heal yourself eventually. But
yeah, the nice thing about using the arrows as arrows instead of the thunders is also it means that you don't have to seed up quite so early for the next dungeon.
Yep, you can go through all the fights right before the crab, and then you would seed. But this makes it nice and easy to remember.
I think with the quick list strat, you kind of end up with a weird number of thunders after that, though. So like,
oh, okay,
there's a couple variations on what you can do with the squid. You can either like use thunders so that you have 2 remaining for the Naga fights, or you just use them all and then just not have all 5 thunders for the crab.
Gotcha. Yeah, because Penguin went for that strat, but Cyclone kept with the older one. Not older, but well, I guess it is older.
It's kind of like how many fights did I have to run from in Bone Dungeon? That kind of determines whether or not you grab Quake at this point.
Yeah, it was nice. They had a good start. Flamerex they finished
yeah.
pretty close to each other, so or during Flamerex rather. Sorry.
It looks like a little bit of a gap opened up during the Wintry Cave, though.
Yep.
But this is still a sufficiently small gap that I wouldn't be too surprised if they even back out later on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the difference right now is just like 1 or 2 deaths between in like a fight or something small, nothing too major. No big deal.
Yeah, 40 seconds is just like, oh, that centaur decided to be a troll and actually
yep.
do actions at all instead of just letting Ben go first.
Yeah, Penguin decided he actually saved his bombs there. The sword, yeah, you can kill with the sword. It is quicker, but it can miss. That's one thing. But it's the name of this game. Just full of a lot of RNG. So if you think you're gonna get it, just go for it.
Really efficient pathing from Penguin as well while pushing the blocks. Kind of pushing the 2 blocks at the same time.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting. Everyone kind of has like their own little way of doing things. Like pushing the blocks and everything.
You like kind of start pushing the one and then you go push the other is the least number of steps. And they actually both did it that way.
Gotcha. Even though the fire doesn't do that much damage to the crab at first, it's just good to clear out the hags and then go from there. Oh, he's actually using 2 fires. Okay. So he is saving thunders, or a thunder, I guess.
Looks like this fight isn't going very fast for him though. He's still not at the halfway point. There's also a bit of a divide on whether or not you bother rezzing Ben during this fight, or at what point do you stop bothering?
Right. I just do it just for safety in case he crits Phoebe or something. That's my main thing, because yeah, I've lost to him because of that before. Something goofy.
There it is. Looks like Cyclone did actually build up, close the gap there quite a bit. Oh, looks like he actually got a gold split on his crab.
Oh, nice.
Waterfall section. It also puts him back on track compared to his splits for a sub 40 ice golem, which is kind of nice. It's where you want to be for the early game. Well, there you were talking about how that the sword hit can miss if you do it that way.
Oh yeah, it did miss. Okay. So the ice pyramid, all the battles that you go through, basically you can save the most time if you don't have to menu a lot during the battles. They kind of, so each one kind of goes into one another. So let's say if Phoebe's on auto using casting thunder, maybe the next one, you're gonna, you know, things will, like you'll have to keep using auto, but we'll see. Sometimes it could be like 3 mages, so Phoebe on auto on them is, you know, all cast fire on all of them and then bomb. But if it's with the Naga 2 or the Lamia 2, it's you'll have to menu differently. So Penguin, yeah, I got the 2 mages, and so that helped him close the gap, stuff like that. Little tweaks here and there during each battle wastes quite a bit of time.
The same fight.
Yeah, with the fight with the 2 birds and the mage, if the mage cures, then you would have to auto just attack again with Phoebe. Luckily, the stone gaze didn't hit Benjamin, so you just used bombs there. So yeah, here, if you had to defend in that last fight, you could just keep defending in this one, because you just use bombs on these guys and they die from just that. It's pretty handy. Yep, same formation. Bombs defend, fastest way. And a lot of the time you see the runners, they change their weapons and either, or the manual auto for partner. They do it like during transitions. Not during the screen's black, because there's a certain frame actually when the screen's like black transitioning that you can soft lock. So they do it after. There's a little bit of lag before you can start moving again. So you do it in that little bit of lag.
These fights with the stony roosts are some of the most annoying in the pyramid.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, here's the instance. The Penguin had to, use fire. Okay, and Cyclone
Yeah.
actually could just defend. So
Yeah, you can use fire if they. You can actually use fire regardless, but you'll run out of fires if you do it too frequently.
I'm lazy and don't keep count, so I just do the normal way, or like the preferred.
But yeah,
ways.
fire is a good way to kind of a backup strat if the mage does cure, so you don't lose a turn over it. It's like Cyclone's getting slightly less luck on these fights though, with the 3 formation instead of 2.
Yeah,
on the other hand, it could end up giving him the critical level 11 before Ice Golem.
That's very true.
Which makes that fight a lot less susceptible to RNG murdering you. Just from that 40 HP, that's the difference between whether Ben dies in 2 hits or 3. From certain abilities.
I swore on Penguin's an end because he cured with Phoebe. He knew that Penguin was going to attack next round no matter what, so there's an off chance, like very low chance that they go before him. But yeah, cured him up, and so you didn't have to cure him after battle.
Yeah, it's an interesting adaptation that you don't normally see. But those kind of adaptations are how like the really good runners are so good at the game. I'm just about to both drop down to the area with the noble armor. It also has the heal potions that they'll need for the item glitch later on.
Yeah, you really just want the healing potion just for the placement in the inventory for anyone who's curious. It will kind of line up later on.
Interesting. Cyclone actually used heal potions instead of the usual. I'm getting a little trouble with enemy formation there.
Oh, wait, did he use one? I didn't see it. I didn't realize.
Yeah, he used a cure potion instead of casting cure.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, just as long as the slots are full, you can use the items. It's just as long as you have like at least one.
Yep.
Yeah, so we're all good. Nothing's wrong.
In fact, at this point, even if he used all of them, it would still be fine. You just have to like buy one.
Right, that's true.
Fireberg when you're in the shop.
Yeah, if you're beginning to run this too, sometimes you might accidentally leave Phoebe on auto when there's like some ailment on your guys. or I don't know if you just should run out of, if you didn't even grab the healing potions or something. You can always, there's a secret passage in Firebreak where you can grab healing potions if you do need it. It's right on.
Or if you like completely bought your inventory like I did once, where I had to seed my last seed before I picked up the healing potion because there were still fights left. Because things had gone wrong. I think like Phoebe got confused and cast Thunder on herself at some point.
Oh gosh.
So that like threw me off completely on when you're supposed to run out of seeds. And so the positioning of everything got screwed up. There's also refreshers in Ruben's house in addition to those heal potions.
Yeah, good point.
In the secret passage, so I just basically rebuilt my inventory from scratch. Oh, that's okay. I guess that worked anyway. The plus speed from the Night Sword allowed Ben to go first. And I was worried because it meant he attacked quote-unquote the wrong thing, but apparently the fight works out anyway. It doesn't work out if Ben misses, though, which just happened.
I didn't see how many, I'm not sure how many, okay, I think it was 18. That's not bad. I mean, I wouldn't worry if at this point, if you have 18 bombs, or 17.
Oh, yeah.
It's really not a big deal. But I guess they're just trying to go for the quicker kill, so I don't know.
The shorter animations. Bomb animations are pretty long. Yeah, this could come down to Pazuzu placement. Or Zoo.
Or Gidra.
But there's also a lot of other things. Yeah, like Gidra or Dullahan can also like decide to cost you a bunch of time. Good versus bad formations in the Great Tree.
Oh yeah.
Can also cost a lot of time.
Honestly, the other day I lost about a minute just to the tree itself, and not even to Gidro compared to my PB. So yeah, I can really mess with you. Just the enemy formations. So Ice Golem here has 6,500 health, and each round you do about 1,000 if you both attack. So take about 7 turns.
But he does have a move that can heal himself.
Oh right, yeah.
And
you get really lucky.
Throw a wrench in your plans. So it looks like neither of them got that level 11 I was talking about.
Right.
And that is causing some Ben deaths here and there. There's a couple moves of Ice Golems that do over 200 damage, and so you just can get run over. It's not too big of a problem, but it does slow the fight down a bit. There we see that Snowstorm ability is what it's called, where basically Ice Golem casts a water spell on all 3 members of the battle. PenguinNinja gonna go for it without rezzing. It looks like he's trying for it.
Got him. Wow, that's yeah. If Ice Golem would have been first, that would have been bad. Oh yeah, they both finished at the same time. Wow.
I think with 256 health, Phoebe will survive almost everything that Ice Golem can do. But you have to keep count so that you know that it's the last fire. If you're wrong about that, then you can really get into a pinch where, like, you know, you're starting a turn with Phoebe at 50 health, and like now Phoebe really has to go first. And they are basically completely synced.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Because Cyclone's boss fight was just a little cleaner. After having less luck on the encounter formations leading up to it.
Yeah, we'll start seeing, unless they get the same exact formations, we're going to see a little bit of a difference in time for this battlefield coming up, so we can obtain exit.
Yeah, this is another actual major RNG spot, where each formation that has the Sphinx and the squid instead of just a solo squid costs about 15 seconds of time loss. They almost always preempt you, and so you get to watch them like confuse you and do some ability down move that they always start the fight out with before you get a chance to run away.
Once in a blue moon, sometimes you're able to go first. It's beautiful because you can just run immediately.
Beautiful. And then you accidentally, you're so
Actually
used to
attack.
smashing through their abilities that you let them have a turn because you weren't expecting it.
Yeah.
That's what happened, like the one time that's ever happened to me in a run. Yeah, we got 10 Fanquids to go through. And also Fanquids sometimes surprise you, which costs like 3 or 4 seconds too. One Sphinx for Penguin, and Cyclone takes the lead.
Oh.
Oh no! A Sphinx for Cyclone.
1-1.
Yeah, I kind of just hope to see like the same numbers for both sides.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Keep it all like pretty much almost synced again. That'd be awesome. Okay.
All right.
So it's 2-2 now, I think. No, 3-2. Okay.
Looks like Cyclone has 4 to go versus Penguin's 2 to go.
I didn't see what happened earlier because I did a little refresh thing, so. Oh yeah, those unexpected attacks can be nasty, especially when they use that one attack that I don't know, I forget what it was, but it can crit, so you can die here. It's pretty scary.
Yeah, they almost always start the fight out with the magic down though, so it's mostly the unexpected squid that you're actually afraid of for damaging you.
Yep.
And Penguin just can't get his last squid. There it finally is after like 3 Sphinxes in a row. It's got to be a little frustrating when you only have 1 to go and you're just getting Sphinx after Sphinx.
Yeah, it's always good to cure here because the next fight it's gonna be a mummy and they can do some serious damage to you. It's good to have full health in case they crit or something. Yeah, coming up we're gonna be doing these the inventory underflow glitch, and it will allow us to skip the whole Fireberg area. And this is why we got all the items set up originally in the inventory, so we can buy 0 seeds, use them, and it'll kind of roll over, and it'll change one of the items in inventory to a coin, which we need to progress to the next gate in the focus tower.
Interesting that consumable coin doesn't work for opening the doors, but by having all of the inventory slots full, when you buy the cure potions, it's trying to put those cure potions into the key item area of your inventory. And so buying a specific number of cure potions, in this case 19, will give you the sun coin, which is what you need to advance to the wind area, as well as the Mobius crest, which you'll need to do some stuff later. And here we have someone leaving our party who had never actually been in the party in the first place. I see nothing wrong with this.
Yeah.
And this mummy can be a bit of a troll too, because he can sleep and petrify you.
Yeah, one time I came here with a really low life, so I was stuck at him for about 4 minutes.
Oh yeah, if you forget to heal before this, you can be in real trouble, because there's like only one move that he does that doesn't hurt you.
Right. Okay, both got through just fine.
And here we find out just how useless Tristram is. He's so useless that it's not even worth having him attack against two enemies when Ben can only target one of them.
Yep.
He can't even two-shot a mummy.
What a guy. Yeah,
He can one-shot these ghosts at least, because they're weak against projectile weapons.
Right. The ghosts, if they power down Tristram, then it'll take 2 turns.
Incidentally, I actually found out recently when I was running through the game to set up the resistance glitch.
Yeah.
If you don't have Phoebe's equipment on Tristan, he can't even one-shot a ghost.
Jeez.
Fortunately, even in the vanilla game, he's the party member that you have around the least. I've been having some real bad luck on hitting these exits. Slipping a little further behind.
Mm-hmm. That's one thing that's cool about exit. Yeah, it can teleport guys right away, but it can miss quite a bit, unfortunately.
He's also not healing up before this fight. Could be a little risky.
It's lucky they got the pack of 2 guys, so that's good. Right now it's just a bit of a fetch quest to get Kaylee and the Dragon Claw.
Yep. They'll also be picking up Arrow on the way back to the wind area.
And Arrow, yes. Yeah, I forgot.
The Arrow spell, rather. Sounds awfully like Arrow, like bow and arrow stuff that Phoebe was using earlier. But for whatever reason, most of the enemies in the wind area are weak against wind. And so having that's going to... well, we're going to be listening to that sound effect an awful lot, let's just put it that way.
Yeah, I always love the Gidra fight. When you just keep... Everyone's casting the Arrow spell. So
including Gidra.
Yep. It's definitely good motivation to make the battle go faster.
Been doing some little like step manipulation there.
Yeah, well, I was talking to him the other day. He just got a new controller, so he's breaking it in still. So it gives him some weird inputs.
Looks like the type of thing that you see in like Final Fantasy 4 or 6 where there's a step there's actually a step counter for encounters, so like there's just places where they walk around in circles for a couple steps to burn some steps to skip a fight.
Well, I'm glad that's not in this.
I am glad that's not in this. On the other hand, if we could skip more fights in this, that would be great.
Yeah.
On the other hand, we don't have random encounters, so like for all the randomness that is in this game, not having random encounters is actually pretty nice.
Yeah, I always talk about like the fights in this game. It's always interesting how it is compared to other like RPG runs. Some of them you just like some RPG runs you just like run away or something like that. This one you kind of have to like think about your circumstances. Like, oh, can I run? If I try to run, will I always run? If it's this formation, how do I attack this? How do I go about doing this? So it's kind of that's what makes this run kind of neat.
And you'll see Cyclone's actually jumping out of the focus tower before going back in to go downstairs to get the arrow spell. What basically that lets him do is it lets him immediately exit out the exit that he entered, so that after he picks up arrow, he can just exit out instead of walking out. I didn't know Phoebe's arrow was strong against those enemies.
Oh, it was like Jin guys or the flights or whatever?
No, the ninjas.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know it did the extra damage on them, so I thought you had to exit the ninja. But that gives you a little more XP to work with, which is kind of nice. That fight's kind of neat because since the enemy in the lead, quote-unquote, is such a low-level Minotaur thing from back in Bone Dungeon, you almost always get a first strike on this, which helps a lot.
That's what we see
the amount of trolling you can take from the stronger enemies in the fight.
Right. Yeah, that's why you can see a lot of cool variations in that fight too. Everyone kind of sometimes does their own little thing, so.
So now that we have Kaylee, these fights with the same encounter formations go much faster.
Yeah, being able to double arrow is such a good thing, or such a better thing compared to just like defending or attacking ghosts with Tristan. That's for sure.
Interestingly enough, these trees are another enemy that you always get first strikes against. This time it's because their level is actually glitched out, and it's set to the same level 1 that the tree enemies from level forest are. We don't actually fight any trees in level forest, but there are trees like reskins of these types that are level 1. And so it means that you always get a first strike here. And this is probably the dungeon with the most walking in it.
Oh yeah. I always love this this area just because if I'm racing someone, you can just hear groans and sighs.
It's actually, I find it to be one of my better areas in terms of like how good I feel about this area compared to other people. It's usually where I manage to build some time back up against my opponent.
I'm surprised these guys aren't. I guess yeah. In these fights against these trees and what do they call it? Snipions? Yeah. You can just have Kaylee on auto and she'll use her axe, so you don't
Yep.
have to do it yourself.
Yeah, it's the type of little optimizations that give you those small time saves.
Yeah, but here's the start of the bleaches for Cyclone. And there's gonna be a lot of these same battles, so we want to hope for pack of 2. So you can just use arrow once and they're dead, so you don't have to worry about any of their turns or letting them do their like fireballs and such. So
And if there are 3, there's a couple of different ways that you can go about doing it. You can either just try to arrow them down with 2 AoE arrows, or you can decide to single target them down, and that lets Kaylee like knock out one before it gets its turn, but it means you're gonna end up taking 2 rounds for the fight.
mm-hmm. Yeah, but Cyclone's been really, it's good tree so far. Really lucky with the worms. We'll see if it keeps continuing. Oh wow, yeah, jeez.
Yeah, in this room actually there's an additional formation of 2 worms and an ooze, which is probably the most groan-worthy of the formations.
Oh yeah, I always run from that.
That's one way to approach that formation. Looks like he's gonna go with the double arrow that I was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But this generally means you take more damage, which might mean that you have to go into the menu to heal between fights. Unless Ben gets lucky and outspeeds some worms, which is rare but can happen.
Yeah.
Oh, he got another lucky formation here.
Yeah, this is.
He's definitely gonna be probably building that lead up a little more now as Penguin goes into the worm formations. In this first room that Penguin's in right now, it's like 75% to be 2 worms. But in the upper room with the mushrooms in it, it's much less likely.
Yeah, that first room though, I always get 3 worms. I barely ever get. My trees are always usually pretty terrible. That's rough.
It looks like Penguin's going for the single target strategies though. But he's also going to try to avoid spending time to heal up, which is kind of the advantage of the single target strategy.
Right.
You're a lot less likely to take a lot of damage. And Cyclone's just like 6 encounters ahead now.
Mm-hmm. Everyone has their own kind of like little groove to the menuing and stuff. Like if you feel more comfortable just like mashing through the 3, even if you have to heal afterwards, or I mean, yeah, you can get practice carrying your group and stuff. I mean, it's really up to the player. Yeah, the other way is safe. Like the non-double arrow is safer. Yeah. So.
That's some pretty bad luck from on Penguin's side. But he'll probably finish up this fight by doing just the AoE to kill the other 2. So even with that bad luck,
Ooh.
you can get out of it.
Yeah, that was close. That's wow.
You definitely get a little nervous looking at Kaylee's health there.
They both went before Kaylee. That's rough.
It's because her speed got knocked down by
I didn't even see it.
quicksand ability.
Oh, okay, I didn't even see that happening. I was looking at Cyclone screen at the time. Dang. Yeah, there's a few ways you can go about finding those oozes. Yeah, you could use bombs, that always hits. You could, if it's already damaged by Kaylee, you can use a sword. You can also try using the claw to either just damage it or just try to insta-kill it with the claw.
Yeah, it has, I think, a 50% chance of attempting to petrify the target, which is those blobs are susceptible to. Or if you get a crit, then it'll also one-shot the blobs, so that bumps it up to like 55% chance to just insta-kill the blobs. That's usually what I go for on them, but there's a couple ways you can go about it. It seems like PenguinNinja actually avoids healing a little more than Cyclone does. It means that Ben is spending more time on the floor, but it's not clear to me whether it's giving him or costing him time. Between the avoided menus versus the time lost from Ben dying. Either way, though, Cyclone is having a very good luck on the tree.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And is creeping ahead. Because he didn't get any ooze formations while fighting worms, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think so. I didn't see any when I was watching him. So.
Oh, I guess she got hit by an attack down, so that's why he didn't go for the axe hit on the worm there. Or on the frog, rather. I wasn't even aware that that was an alternate.
I wonder how much of damage it does with the power down. I never realized. I never paid attention.
I just saw him react that way, and it's like, oh, that's a nice little backup. I assume that with that power down, then Kaylee can't one-shot them with the axe anymore. Because it's just barely doing enough damage as is. Uh-oh. He let go a little too early there. Fortunately, there's no real consequence of that other than just having to climb back up again. It's a little blooper. So Cyclone's getting to finishing up floor 4. There's going to be one more floor after this, and then and that's where the boss is. Yeah, it looks like I lost count of how many encounters difference, but we're almost at the point where you have enough encounters difference to cover not getting a floor 6 and your opponent getting it, which is going to be between 12 and 16 for anything that's not floor 2. That's how many additional encounters it takes.
I guess Cyclone is such a good tree.
Yeah, he's had such a good tree.
Envious.
And Penguin's had a pretty mediocre tree.
The standard.
I mean, really, when I'm racing this, I'm hoping for average RNG most of the time. Except for the Pazuzu location, where of course you're hoping for floor 6. But generally it's like if you get average RNG, then it's kind of up to you, and you can deal with that. And here we have Cyclone starting up his Gidra fight. There's going to be 2 ads in this fight that you want to take down single target before you really deal with Gidra. And then it takes 8 casts of arrow to kill Gidra.
Yeah, those guys are definitely needed to get, like, they're good to get rid of, just because they can instant kill you and also they can confuse you.
They can... Do they have any other status effects? I don't know. Confuse is bad enough. Yeah, it's one of the worst in the game.
Definitely. And there's a lot of guys that can do it.
So we'll kind of see how aggressively Cyclone takes this fight. You see some differences in how people handle it, like whether or not they'll cure Ben when he's low enough that he could die. It looks like he's got Gidra down. This is going to be the last arrow.
Wow. Yeah, that was an amazing tree. Like
that was a very good tree.
107, like 55 or what?
Yeah, he's saying in chat now, best tree ever.
Yeah, what? That's crazy.
After seeing that, I believe it. And we have a goon kid. So after we kill Gidra, you will see the runners go and pick up a chest that previously had enemies guarding it, but once you kill Gidra, all of the other enemies in the tree despawn. So they're going to go and pick up the Meteor spell, which would have been nice to clear the tree, but it will still be very nice in Mount Gale, which is the next dungeon coming up. Interestingly, Cyclone is still level 15. I wonder if he realizes that he'll actually need to equip the claw.
Right.
Yeah. Until he's level 16.
Yeah, once you're level 16, you can switch to the sword. Just so because with the sword or with the claw, you get extra magic, and you don't have enough magic to kill. Was it pack of 2 with Meteor at 15?
Correct.
Yeah. So.
You can also see him do a little shopping hit. This crest actually lets you teleport to Fireburg inside the house of the guy that gives you the Mega Grenade, which you would otherwise need the multi-key to get. And that's one of the items we don't get when we're glitching our inventory using the standard inventory glitch. It is possible to glitch it into your inventory, but we don't get it during the run. And here Penguin is starting his Gidra fight. about 3 minutes behind where Cyclone was. Maybe 4. So that was a pretty big gap that opened up almost entirely in the tree.
Yeah, I couldn't ask for a better tree than
And you can
Cyclone
actually
had.
see
It's crazy.
there's the fact that PenguinNinja hit level 16
Right.
is kind of evidence of that. It is going to make this fight a little safer, though, because there's a couple scenarios where that extra hit points will allow Ben to survive something he wouldn't otherwise. Looks like he's got 4 arrows to go.
Yeah, all these fights in Mount Gil are nice. It's just, yeah, you kill one of them with the arrow and then meteor the rest. It's pretty easy. Do it for all of them. Unfortunately, you don't have 5 casts to clear the whole room before Delahan, but it's okay. I mean, pretty easy fights. And Gidra's down. Penguin. That's awesome.
It was a good Gidra fight, but yeah, he's like about 4.5 minutes behind. So got some more Goon Kid. And we're watching. There's only as you mentioned earlier, there's only 5 actual fights required in Mount Gale.
Yeah, it's unfortunate you don't have 4 or 5 charges for Meteor.
Yeah, you do have to seed up in between. But fortunately, a side effect of the inventory glitch we did earlier is we have effectively unlimited seeds.
Right. Luckily, we can start off the same way this fight against Dullhand. Just Meteor and Arrow one guy. Clears out the vampires. And then go from there. Basically, you just want to keep casting Meteor and then have Kaylee heal up.
Yeah, there's a couple. If you start a turn with both party members pretty good health, sometimes you see there's a couple variations on what you can have Kaylee do. Uh-oh, that was a
Ouchies.
nasty crit against Kaylee.
Yeah.
Doing over 1,000 damage and killing her. And that he's gonna just quote run away. You can't run away, but it lets him die with the least amount of time taken. Because he knows he can't clear the fight like that. There's a couple moves that all these AoE moves will one-shot Ben if Kaylee is down, because all of the damage gets piled on the Ben. So it's pretty bad luck there. In addition to a little risk-taking of like having Kaylee fight when she's at around half health.
Ooh.
Uh-oh. Here, I did mention that Dullahan could cost time.
Oh, yeah.
And this is how he does it. All he has to do is dance at Kaylee.
That's why it's hard, like when you're doing a run of this game, you can't really get yourself psyched up just because you had one good boss, you know. Because if this stuff like this happens, then it'll definitely get you down. You just gotta keep power through every bad thing that goes, your way. That's all you can do.
And now we have the third death from Cyclone. And Ben apparently wants to take a nap before casting Meteor.
Yeah, the best case scenario if he gets put to sleep is one of those guys can wake him up. If it's the first turn, the vampire will hit Benjamin, and Benjamin will be like, wake up and just start throwing meteors. Like, what? What's going on? So, but yeah, look, but unfortunately, all the vampires are gone, so the opportunity to do that.
So it looks like Cyclone prefers to just attack with Kaylee on the turns where Dullahan decides to do something non-damaging or misses. But other things you can do, you can actually have her cast Heal, which inflicts status effects and could inflict Paralyze on Dullahan.
I'm a big fan of that. I always try to go for that. But it paid off for for this fight here. Kaylee actually did crit with the axe, so that's good.
Particularly good.
Oh,
He's in the last phase of Dullahan's form, so it's just a few thousand more damage. And this should be the last meteor for him.
cool.
That said, that was a lot of that lead that chipped away there. So let's see how far behind PenguinNinja is after that. Granted, Penguin could have a terrible Dullahan as well.
Right.
But he's just about to start. So.
Yeah, I think everything goes right. It's like probably like a minute and a half. And then, there's always the tower, and then also the floor, that Pazuzu's on, so it's not over yet, that's for sure. Unfortunately, the arrow on Dullahan takes a bit longer than just attacking. Does a little bit more, but I don't know if it's really worth it at that point. There's an example of, Kaylee used life in the same turn that Benjamin was going to attack, and then Benjamin did when he came back alive, yeah. So it worked out. Very nice. Yeah, so it's like a minute 45 around there difference. But just like every other area, all the enemy encounters in this place can be, the different enemy packs. I mean, there's the different numbers, and there's also the different formation or different types of enemies, and so that could be really detrimental and could help Penguin catch up a little bit to Cyclone.
In general, there's usually some encounter formation that'll have only 2 enemies, and that's usually the one you're hoping to get.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Penguin is successful with the sword there. I think people were missing a lot earlier, so
Yeah, he had Cyclone had a couple weird fights where he like missed with the sword. The Penguin did too. It's like 4 or 5 fights behind at this point. Not as big of a gap as it was before. And at this point, they're at a point where Pazuzu RNG could determine things, but if any of the middling floors 1, 4, 5, which are the kind of like average RNG floors, those are pretty close enough together that at that point, that would not determine this race. And wouldn't change the lead at this point. But if one of them gets a floor 6, or if one of them gets a floor 2, if either of those things happen, then the current lead is out the window.
Right. Ooh. Yeah, Cyclone had a pretty good tower up till, this fight here is a little bit weird for him. Yeah, these mana cores get very nasty. This can also close the gap a little bit too. And so can all the encounters on like floor 7. Yeah, because on floor 7 you can have like all of pack of 2s, or you can have 3. So and if you have all 2s, you save a lot of time compared to the other person who has all 3 fights. Yep, so now he's only
Cyclone
2
having
fights
some
away.
scary fights in the hallway here, and he's
Oh, yeah.
actually... Although I'm actually impressed by Penguin's choice of going into this fight without full health on Ben.
He believes in the Benjamin. Oops.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's what happened to Cyclone in the first fight too, actually. Yeah, it worked out. Yep, not too far off. It's pretty cool. Even if they get the same floor, like if they both got like 4 or 6.
Uh-oh.
Just having
Penguin
those...
made that same mistake again.
Oh man.
Oh, but double stone gas, it doesn't matter whether you make that mistake.
Yep. But yeah, sometimes Pazuzu fights can, even if you don't die, I mean, they could still take a long time if you have to keep healing like Benjamin and stuff like that, so... It's not just boss deaths that can give you some more time.
Yeah, Ben can also have his turns get cancelled by dying or at inconvenient times, or
Yep.
Kaylee takes too much damage from physical attacks that she doesn't resist. This is another area that you're really hoping to get those 2 enemy formations instead of 3 enemy formations.
Definitely.
And in just a few more fights, we'll see whether Cyclone has the 4-6 or not. So let's get our PogChamps or Baby Ridges ready. PogChamp if we see the floor 6, or Baby Rage if we don't. And we get some Baby Rage. So on his way down, he'll floor 5 and 1 are the kind of the best results that you can
1
end
and
up with.
5. Yeah, sorry, I stepped away for a bit. Missed a Baby Rage.
Yep, you missed a Baby Rage.
Oh,
Yeah.
floor 5.
Basically anything but floor 2, you're happy enough with at this point.
Yeah, definitely.
Didn't see what happened there for oh no, that was the last fight before Flare. For some reason I thought Penguin had Flare. So we could just suddenly see the lead flip on its head if Penguin has the floor 6. Or get really tight if he gets like a floor 5 but a better fight, Pazuzu fight, or a floor 1. And here we get more Baby Rage.
Baby Rage.
Baby Rage.
Yeah, it's so exciting to get Flare at this point in the run, but then some of the battles give you like the eyeballs, so I can't even cast it. It's lame.
Yeah, it's one strategy you can do is just run from those fights.
That's true, yeah.
But or you can just go back to your normal strat, single targeting things down. So Cyclone has to hit the floor 4 switch. There are switches on every even-numbered floor. And that'll lock floor 4. He's already locked floor 6,
Wow.
meaning that Pazuzu cannot move off of floor 5. And then he's actually going to have to loop back, like go all the way back up across floor 7 in order to actually get to Pazuzu's spot on floor 5. Because you're on this like upper level of floor 5 where you can't get down to him.
Yeah, and Penguin got the floor 5 as well.
Yeah, I got floor 5 as well. So we have the same floor.
Very cool. So it'll come down to all just encounters, and you know, even like getting like the same bad encounter max chip can close the gap too. If everything goes well with Pazuzu, I mean, it's hoping everything goes well with Pazuzu in both ends. But yeah, still a pretty good race.
Yeah, it's very close still. It's only like 3 or 4 encounters difference.
Yep, that's awesome. Really good to see.
And at this point, the encounters go very fast because of the flare spell. So Cyclone started his walk back up and around to fight Pazuzu. Penguin is clearing out the last couple battles to hit the floor 4 switch. He's already on floor 4. Penguin manages to get that flare off with only 15 health left on Ben. So we have Cyclone just about to engage Pazuzu at 137 and a bit. 137.15. And so this fight's pretty dangerous. You have to be fairly cognizant of both party members' HP. Pazuzu doesn't have anything that can one-shot Kaylee, but he does have some things that can crit and do 1,000 damage or so. And you also have to be aware of his Psych Shield, which once he enables it will reflect magic.
Ooh, it's nice that you got that. Was it Windstorm? I forget what it was.
Yeah, if that was a sky attack there, that could have been a wipe.
Yep.
He's looking to squeeze out a little more damage before Psych Shield goes up on this turn. This is the final turn before Psych Shield. He ran out of flares, but just went to an arrow instead of losing that time. And then he'll heal up during the Psych Shield turn.
It's been a pretty awesome fight for him so far.
It really has. He did take a little risk here early in the fight, but I mean, early in the fight is kind of when you want to go, when it's a little safer to play risky, because if it goes poorly, then you don't lose much.
Right. Oh, he's good. Okay. Cool.
He knows that this is the turn that Psych Shield goes up, and that means Pazuzu will always go last. So even though Ben was really low health and is pretty much guaranteed to die, he's going to have time to fix that before continuing the fight.
I'm always just afraid of like a crit, like Pile Driver or something crazy.
Pile
just
Driver
happening.
on Kaylee or something.
Yeah, that's the one thing I'm always like, Oh, well, went down.
Yep.
Cool.
So that was like a 2-minute fight, 3-minute fight?
About a 2-minute.
Certainly a very good boss fight for him.
Definitely.
And managed to preserve most of that lead that he had by before Pazuzu. Interesting to note here is that Penguin is level 20, and that actually means he has all 5 flares. So he won't have the issue of that. Oh, did he forget to seed up? Why did he use a seed made battle there?
I'm not sure. I didn't see.
And there's that level 20 saving him with 24 health remaining.
Wow. Very nice.
And again.
Just 3. Wow. Benjamin's been a champ for Penguin this race.
Uh-oh, this is the scary part, though, when Kaylee gets petrified.
Just hope, yep. Okay, good.
Okay, he'll be fine. He'll be fine. A sky attack there will sometimes just one-shot you, but there's a glitch sometimes where it tries to do damage to the petrified party member. And I don't know what causes that. And if it does that, then you'll survive, because it's still splitting the damage. So we had Cyclone, while we were watching PenguinNinja do Pazuzu, we had Cyclone do the final stage of the inventory glitch in order to get some Thunder Rock, which would normally require a bunch of trekking halfway across the world and doing a bunch of fetch quest stuff. And Penguin has also a very solid Pazuzu fight, finishing at 142.08. So,
it's about like a 2.5 minute difference right now.
Yeah, 2 minutes, a little over 2 minutes.
But yeah, I think he might have attacked earlier with the claw. I'm not sure if he thought his damage was good or if it was just like a misclick, or because his new controller and everything. I'm not too sure.
Psych Shield was up, but he didn't need to seed.
Oh right, okay, yeah, Psych Shield was up. Yeah,
so he was just trying to like get in some chip damage there.
Okay, I didn't see the Psych Shield.
I usually just have Ben cast Cure during those phases. But if you're counting damage closely, then like that 500 damage or so that he does, you can decide whether or not that's going to matter.
Yeah, you never
know.
The
way this other inventory glitch works, you have the 0 cure potions this time, and you're going to use those 0 cure potions, and it's going to affect the key items because cure potions are in the 4th inventory slot at this point. You have to make sure you don't activate this glitch until after Ruben rejoins your party, however. He uses those. Some key items appear in our inventory from nowhere. And Otto, who is totally not Sid, creates the Rainbow Bridge. Or extends it, actually, because you can't see the first part of the Rainbow Bridge due to the clouds. And previously I had mentioned how we got the Mobius crest. It looks like he had a bit of a controller glitch there. He walked back out of India. I previously had mentioned that we got the Mobius crest additionally when we did that first set back in Fireburg of inventory glitching. Not only did that let us get the mega grenades from Windia, it's also going to let us get to the ship without having to go through Spencer's cave to get the Mobius crest properly.
What's nice about Max Ship too is that it's pretty straightforward if you know the route.
If you know the route, it's a bit confusing if you don't.
Yeah, as a kid, I remember going through like the whole thing and being like, "Where do I go?" So, yeah,
it's not super clear that you can climb the mast.
Yep.
This is actually one of the worst formations that Penguin has because that Chimera resists fire. So you can't just wipe it out with White and Flare. In this formation, you actually just have to run from.
Yep. There's no point in trying to fight that one. Luckily, you didn't have to keep retrying just once,
Yeah.
so that's good. There have been times
So
I had
we're
to like run away from like.
still at that same about 4 encounters difference. I think there's 6 fights in the ship, is it? Or is it 5? It's 5.
5. Oh, same encounter.
We have Cyclone just about to head over to Doom Castle through the basement of Focus Tower.
Yeah, Penguin Ninja just got a rare encounter. That one's it's weird to
Oh, that
deal
is
with.
rare.
Yeah,
I don't think I've ever encountered it.
I've gotten it twice, and I always got confused. Took me a while to be like, oh yeah, I could just probably just do flare and white.
You probably
so.
just do Flare and White regardless of what you actually encounter here.
Yeah. Like other than a few fights in like other than like Dullahan and Suzy Floor and
Looks like Cyclone's going to be picking up the Aegis shield here.
oh, okay.
I'm
Yeah,
curious to see what Penguin does. Oh, go ahead.
I was just thinking most of his encounters have actually been pretty nice, other than like a few of the what they call Manicore fights in Pazuzu's Tower, and this is excluding bosses, so like excluding Dullahan. Seems like everything's been pretty like, decently nice to him this run. So I wonder if, I guess this will even help even more because if everything keeps going at the same rate as it has been, I don't imagine him Cyclone getting in a lot of issues with the encounters here.
Certainly not if you with the Aegis shield. There's a lot
Yep.
less that can go wrong with the normal encounters if you grab the Aegis.
Definitely.
But I wonder if Penguin's gonna skip it to try and grab that 1 minute back, because that's about how much time it costs you to get it.
Scar Rex is cool. You can either do like the life flare. Oh yeah, he's using life on him. He's life to instant kill him. You can also use exit. Considering how much experience Cyclone has, it's probably better that he did it this way.
Well, also, if you do the life and flare, then I guess exit and white is what you do if you're doing it the other way around.
Exit and thunder.
Exit thunder. Okay. But that only kills one ninja, doesn't it?
Yep.
So I think it's a little ideal if you can manage to pull off the flare. We have the same life and flare. There's also another area of the game that you actually see a lot of strike firsts.
Yeah, because all the lower level guys in these groups because that one lower level guy, it ruins the fun for the rest of the enemy group. So, but it's nice for you.
For a second, I thought we were going to see Blizzard strats out of Penguin. I saw that menuing.
If you strike first, you can just use Flare and White. You don't have to worry about using Thunder on the Ninja.
One thing that some DDR noob actually pioneered here is if you get that strike first, you do an AoE Thunder and White. Or sorry, an AoE Thunder with Flare. And that means you only have to watch the death animation once. Because the Ninja is weak to Thunder, and it takes enough damage that the Flare will clear it out. But it doesn't kill the weaker enemies. And so it's kind of an interesting variation. There's a lot of little variations you can do, especially when you have like the reliability of a strike first to work with. We have Cyclone just about to start up his Stone Golem fight. I would actually be a little nervous about having Phoebe blind right here.
Yeah.
Because it's often that... Okay, he's doing this, and that's why I like to have Phoebe on auto for this fight.
Oh, just for the first hit? Oh, yeah, I see what you mean.
Oh, wow.
Oh, here we go. There's the... Stone Golem's so weird. Sometimes he's like so... The fight goes so well. Like either super good or
Another
super
interesting
bad.
thing. Defending does not work if you are blind.
Right, yep.
And it looks like he didn't realize that. So down goes Stone Golem. And that little hiccup brought PenguinNinja back up to basically one fight behind, although it is a sort of a boss fight. And we'll see the auto strats that I was talking about.
There you go.
Ben goes down, but Phoebe's just going to pick him up before his turn comes around.
Very cool.
And he'll still cast the exit.
Cool.
Now we have an extremely close race.
Oh, yeah.
As Penguin picked up a fair bit of time back up on that Stone Golem fight. Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's one of the... It's like,
Speaking
it's hard to
of,
deal with these guys, because it's just like... You could defend, but it leaves, you know... Just because it's Stone Gas, they're gonna double Stone Gas no matter what. Like, or not no matter what, but I mean, like... They have so many instant kill... They always use the instant kill moves, so it's just like...
Yeah, they just have, you know, it's an enemy with two different instant kill moves, so... Their chances of picking an instant kill move is just so high.
Right. Like for those fights, I that's why I have the sword on, just in case. Like I might get that slight luck just to try to get before one of the dogs. Like, but to use Flare. So
It looks like that's just what happened on Penguin's side.
there we go. We'll see how Twin Head goes, because so when I was first, like for a while now, or for a while, I had like for like 3 months, Twin Head would always kill me like 2 or 3 times. So I mean, I hope everything goes well for these guys.
Yeah, you have to be particularly careful with Phoebe's health on this fight because she's not faster than Twin Head.
Yep.
And that's usually the source of most people having issues. Because if you let Phoebe get low, then you're giving Twin Head an opportunity to one-shot her before she has a chance to heal. But as usual, you're often a lot less concerned about Ben's life. That poison on Phoebe can also be a deciding factor. It's also a fairly short fight. Twin Head only has 15,000 health. So a lot of times you're just trying to burst down the boss before he can make things go too badly. And that's Phoebe getting really dangerously low on life. Fortunately, Twin Head attacks the other person, giving him a chance to heal up. But once it's below 50% health or so, he stops casting the fireballs and switches to casting thunder, which Phoebe actually resists, and she's a lot less likely to just randomly die at this point. It would take a critical hit.
So that was really good. Penguin's been really pretty defensive in this fight. You see him actually defending Phoebe there.
Yeah, he
with
actually
Benjamin.
used the defense skill to make sure that Phoebe didn't die before that cure spell went off. That was... Oh, he's going to do the defense strategy again, isn't he? Oh, this is really cool.
Nice, yep.
I've never seen this fight done this way.
Very cool.
I think I just learned something. Both coming up on Zoo's floor, which is pretty much the worst. There's a lot of really nasty Cerberus-based formations. A lot of enemies that control you with status effects and instant death abilities.
Definitely. Yeah, I've lost runs to this room before. Just this room, not even at Zoo.
Yeah. Just recently, Elmagus lost a world record to a normal enemy formation in this area.
It's crazy to think about too, considering the time he had.
Yep.
Whew.
Oh man. And that's the type of thing that can go wrong.
Yep.
Phoebe is confused and casts white on the party. Interestingly enough, she wasn't even going to cast white on the enemy, she was going to cast thunder.
So now we're one fight away? Or about one? That's wild. Still, after all this time, it's been such a close race.
Absolutely. It's like 1.5 fights or so.
Yep.
Another thing you have to be careful of in this area is you have to make sure you're counting your wizard spells on,
Oh, yeah.
particularly your flares or meteors for Ben.
Yeah,
Because that was PenguinNinja's last one, and if he's not aware of that, he could get into real trouble on the next encounter.
Oh, yeah, he sees it. Okay. Yeah, if you run out, you're like, oh, I want to run. A lot of times here, you can't even run from these fights.
Yeah, they're such high-level enemies.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Okay, this time Phoebe didn't wipe the party when she got confused. She just didn't attack. He is not having good luck with that. With that confusion. Well, at least Phoebe did something relevant at all. Cost him a couple seconds worth of time. And that's Cyclone's last fight. Starting the zoo fight. It's interesting to see what strategies people go for in the first round, whether they decide to single target or if they try to AoE the two enemies down. You're sometimes faster than them. Did he get hit or did he enter this fight at not full health?
Oh, we just got hit, yeah.
Okay.
Ooh.
That's rough. Oh, it looks like he'll be fine though. Let's take up the spell off. I just saw Phoebe was on Aug with that, and it's like, oh yeah, that's one of the nice interactions of the AI mode in this game is that they don't actually decide their action until their turn comes up, which means they can be more effective healers than manually healing can be in some cases. The thing you're really worried about here, though, is Doom Dance from Zoo on Phoebe will just end your day. So you're hoping for basically anything but that. And it's not a particularly short fight either. This is, in some ways, this is the final boss of the game, and the Dark King is mostly a formality.
There you go. That was a really good fight for Cyclone.
Really, really good fight for Cyclone. And PenguinNinja is more than halfway done with it. Is Penguin gonna go ham here? He might.
Oh, he's going for
If he's counting HP, then,
Oh!
yeah. Oh wow. 10
Very
HP
nice.
Phoebe, no problem.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to be enough for him to get ahead unless something disastrous happens on Dark King.
Yeah.
Which there are a few things that can go wrong, but none of them are particularly likely.
Can't wait until there's like a run where it's like a bunch of he uses the drain sword over and over again. Something crazy like that. Ooh.
That missed cure is one of the things, though.
Yep.
Looks like Phoebe might drop here. Oh no, never mind. That's just a status move. I believe this is the last cure.
Yep. And he's done.
Yep, and he has done it. Just under 207. And Penguin Ninja's probably a little sad to see the dot done while he's
so
in the Dark King
close.
fight. What a race.
Yeah, that was yeah, back and forth, neck and neck for a lot of the time. Really cool. So
And
just
their endings were about 40 seconds apart. It looks, because we just saw a dot done on the channel from Penguin Ninja. And here it is on stream. What a race.
hey,
Hello there.
congrats.
Thank you. I'd like to give my thanks to the tree.
Yeah, that was insane. That was a god tree.
I saved 4 minutes on that tree.
Yeah, that was
Wow.
insane. You had, I don't even think you had mostly the two worm battles and everything.
Yeah, I had, I think, 2-3 worm battles even going through the worm room.
That's amazing. But yeah, the only thing that yeah, you did a pretty solid run. Other than Dullahan and a few
Dullahan
fights
was
in-
bad. Flamerus was pretty bad.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at least you got. I mean, that time wasn't so bad from Flame Rex. It's not like it was like a.
Yeah, but it was like
14.
2 missed cures. I used all of my lives, and I relied on Tristram critting in the end. Which he did twice, which I thank him for that.
Yeah, that's also very wild. But yeah, that race. I mean, that a lot of things went right for you there. It's just Dullahan was a jerk, and
Dullahan
you
was
guys.
the first battle on Max Ship.
Max ship. Yep.
That Chimera plus 2 mage formation is the worst.
Yeah, I tried to run away from it the first time. It didn't let me.
No, that's the problem. That's part of the problem, is that you can't run away from that very reliably, because those Chimeras have too much...
So I was just like, alright, well, I'm gonna try to fight it, and then it's like, yeah, no. GG, Penguin.
GG,
Yeah,
sir.
that was an impressive
Just
race. You actually-
for the record, just so I know, how far behind was I at tree? Because I had a terrible tree.
You were
it was
almost
awful.
4 minutes behind at the end
Yeah,
of the
that
tree.
was a really bad tree.
You were at about 4 minutes behind. Cyclone had a great
Yeah.
tree. You had an awful tree.
Yeah,
I had an awful
But he had a
tree.
couple wipes to Dullahan that let you catch up a little bit, and then you were still like 5 or so fights behind in Pazuzu's tower, and you just kind of
Yeah.
were slowly creeping up. Like
What floor did he get?
We both got 5, I think.
we
Oh,
both had
okay,
4
cool.
or 5. So that was completely even there.
I knew I had to go for it on the Zuh fight, so I was like,
Oh yeah, that 10
when he
health
landed
left
the
on
sky
Phoebe.
attack, I'm like, is that lethal damage on Phoebe? I don't think it is. Probably okay.
Zuh
Why?
handed. He tried for a little bit, but he didn't doom dance me, so. I had to take a turn defending Phoebe, but it was fine.
Speaking of defending Phoebe, Penguin Ninja, I had never seen that.
I didn't want to have to do that in that fight. I had to almost every time, because every time she's below. Because she got hit with fire breath like 3 times in that fight. I'm just like, I cannot take the risk of Phoebe dying, because if Phoebe dies and I have to reset this fight, this race is almost definitely over.
Yeah.
So I had to like just play super defensive the entire Wyvern fight, which was unfortunate too because he kept hitting the paralyze
Yep.
breath, and I couldn't. She wouldn't cure.
So you didn't grab Aegis.
No, I didn't. I had to catch up.
The first thing it did to me was paralyzed breath. I was like, oh, thank God.
I was down like 2, 3, 4 minutes. I had to find a way to catch up in the race. So I skipped the Aegis Shield. I had to, and
Well, you were certainly creeping up on Cyclone there throughout Doom Castle, particularly. There were a couple fights that kind of went a little awkward, like the Stone Golem fight for Cyclone. He didn't do the strat where you have Phoebe on auto and Stone Golem just basic attacked
Ben
and one-shots him.
I didn't even think about keeping Phoebe on auto there.
Yeah, that's one way to deal with that. She'll still
mitigate
fire a Cerberus if nothing else went wrong. So
which is
Just
what
need
I
to
do
survive.
anyway.
yeah, just need to survive the first turn and get rid of the Golem. That's why auto is more important. But even with
It was a quick wipe. And the refight went fast. So
yeah.
Yeah, other than the few things in the end, I think most of your dungeon Cyclone were pretty good. Penguin had got a lot of some bad luck.
I was so far ahead in experience, throughout the entire run. I was like,
you really were. Like, you
was-
had the level 16. He did not for Gidra.
I was so far
you
behind.
had level 20 for Pazuzu, where Cyclone did not.
I've never seen a floor 5 without level 20 before.
I had so much experience. I was just like, I can't avoid 3 formations the entire race. It was
Was unfortunate.
Yeah, that was brutal. Every place you went to was the same way. I felt pretty bad. But that's Mystic Quest, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah, good game, guys.
Good
Yeah.
race.
GG.
Do you guys
Did you guys see me miss menu 4 times in the beginning of the hallway? That was great.
Both of you had a little menu hitching at the beginning of the hallway.
Yeah.
Although I don't think Penguin made the mistake 4 times.
Yeah, no, it was like I went into the battle. I kept life on Benjamin by accident. I wiped. Didn't take off auto for the refight. And I don't know. I did a bunch of stupid shit.
But I know Penguin had to do. You're still with the controller you were telling me about before, Penguin.
Yeah, I had a couple of inputs where I was just like, why won't you go left? Controller, go left.
We
Please
noticed
go
that.
left.
Oh,
What the hell? It was unpleasant. I mean, I don't think it's the difference in the race, but it was still like, and sometimes I was just like, oh, God.
Yeah, like I
I
said
got
before,
real-
you
I
jump in this
actually
channel.
had-
Thank you, tree.
It's all the tree's fault. I actually had I was super happy with what happened out of Bone Dungeon because I was able to dupe 3 seeds. So I could go, first of all, I could go cure strats on the skeleton, which I typically don't even do. And then I got to go Quakeless because I had 2 additional seeds. So I thought I thought everything up until the Golem fight was pretty good. And then the game decided to just lay it on in the second half.
My
That
golem fight was
tree
really
just-
good. I remember that being
you
really
were
good.
both on the Golem fight at the same time, and you came out of it synced when PenguinNinja had gone into it. Like, I want to say around 30 seconds ahead of you.
And then I got 5 Sphinxes in the battle. I think 5 or 6
You were
Sphinxes in the
like
battlefield.
almost synced up on the battlefield coming into the last one, and then with 1 fight to go, Penguin gets 3 Sphinxes.
I know the first half of my battlefield was terrible. I got like 2 Sphinxes, 3 unexpected. I lost 10 HP in the first 5 battles. It was ridiculous. And then like the later half, it just gave it to me.
But yeah, really the deciding factor in that was the tree, and it was kind of a combination of I think Cyclone does go for the double arrow strats, which paid off a couple
Cyclone
times.
also got like I think because I was
And he
looking at the
also
stream.
got a
Cyclone got
huge
literally
number of
every
two
two formation in the worm
there-
room.
No, there
Like,
were
literally-
two. There were 2 threes.
There were 2 3s in the worm room.
I
and
had
there
to
was a
run
3.
from like 2 oozes, and then every other fight was like a 3. I was like, how is this happening?
Yeah.
That's like
Like by the
everyone for me,
time
dude.
I had left that door, I was like, I'm at 104, and he left it at like 1 even. I'm like, God.
Yeah, I saved a full 4 minutes on the tree, and my split is from the end of exit battlefield. So it was. I've never seen a tree that good.
All right then, guys. Well, do you guys anything else to say to the stream? And
No, I'm good.
Okay. Sounds good. All right then. Well, I think the next thing up is Daycon Racing, and so I'm your commentator, Opus, and so join me as Silverfire. Yeah, congratulations, Cyclone, again.
Thank you.
Yeah, but have a good one, guys.